Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to a program on target. For the meter too lateness, a very humblest apology. As soon as we start that program, you could pick up your telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything. Politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, any issue trending. Whether it is the issue of the government trying to pass data protection laws in parliament, or whether it's the houses in Kariakou that the government intend to take back, or whatever the issue, you can introduce your own issue and we will entertain you. Yes, caller, welcome.
How long have I ready to talk again after Tuesday? Hey, Mr. Pierre?
I didn't hear that.
See how long have to talk on the radio after Tuesday when they pass that law?
Well, there are some people in Grenada you would not be able to stop. The revolution tried that. They jailed 3,000 Grenadians and they were not able to stop.
I know it can work close. I know it can work close.
Some people you cannot stop. I think it's just you're wasting productive time and you're causing the economy to go in tailspin.
And causing the people to get more vicious.
That's all it would do. It doesn't help. And by the time you finish pass the law, you're out of government and the same law is used against you.
Yeah, he's definitely looking for, he really wants to be
I think it's a question of political stupidity. It is totally unnecessary.
You know, they're trying to bring back the days of Jerry that is in the sky. Right?
It can't work. These things, we have reached a stage, the technology is so advanced. What we need to concentrate on having a productive country and a peaceful country. Yeah.
I hope you go to the Paris Sunday.
Yeah.
Huh? Mr. Pierre?
Aye?
I hope you're going to the parade Sunday.
Which parade?
The XPRA parade in
Once another time. I wasn't an XPRA, but I would like to be an ex-observer. I was an observer and a victim to quite a large extent, so I'll be around. Yeah.
Bringing back the rebel, man.
The rebel can come back. They experimented with the revolution, and the first thing we did, irrespective of what they promised, they took people rights away. And once you start to take people rights away, people are going to object. You know? And if you jail 3,000 Grenadians, you affected the majority of people in the country because their relatives was in prison.
But these were the fellas, the fellas wanted to be opposition to this stable the country.
Yeah.
So they wanted to see could have managed the high when they started their stupidness. But they didn't want what they get there now. So they're trying to destroy their own self with what they get.
Well, it's a common history of the National Democratic Congress. It's so unfortunate, but that is the history. You know? That's the history of the Congress. In 1990, they did the same thing. In 2008, the same attitude. And now they're a little worse.
Yeah. That's too terrible. That's too terrible. God is sleeping. God isn't sleeping at all.
Yeah, but God don't sleep in, but God gives people choices. And Grenadians cannot say they did not know. They cannot plead innocence. We had enough examples from the past. We were forewarned. We were told. We knew the history of the National Democratic Congress. We should not just accept these kind of promises that they made that was unrealistic.
You know, to be honest, we like to jump beyond promises, especially when it sounds good, but not knowing the afterfall behind it.
Then we stand the consequences.
Yes, we doesn't understand.
Yeah.
We expect the stupidness, and when it do take us, it's too late.
Yeah.
God isn't sleeping, God is there. That is all my belief.
Yes. Thank you, caller. Yes, we reach a stage in life, we have enough history behind us. And sometimes we put too much emphasis on written history. What is written in the school? In 1962, the GNP promised unitary state. They say if you vote for us, we're going to join Trinidad and Tobago. And all Grenadians will get same pay like Grenadian in Trinidad. And Grenadians fell for it. In 1990, when we had the structural adjustment program, the National Democratic Congress fired the workers from the estate. Although they claim they like agriculture, they always do things that is counterproductive to agriculture. And then they boast about it, how they're good. They fire the workers on the estate. Shorty, they used to call him Lord Tall. Because when I speak, I want to be on the side of the truth. And if you shake the truth from you, I want to tie the truth on you. That is why I named Shorty. He was a popular one in the Calypso world. He was working in Maribor Agriculture Station. He liked the job. They fired him together with a number of agricultural estate workers. They cut social program. And when people start to talk about it, they wanted to do something spectacular for agriculture. So they cut down Belvedere nutmeg. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, Miss Sister.
I would like to take the opportunity to express condolences to the Bain family of Grenville. Today they would lay to rest their mom, one of the longest-serving women that have been behind the men or beside, inside caring for the family. They raised some sons that are now in business. To O'Brien and to those in the block plant, we say, be strong, and God is on them. Let us continue to salute our women on this International Women's Day, March 8th. I salute the mothers, the hard-working ladies, and let us not forget the good, strong gentlemen that work beside the ladies to ensure that they achieve their successes. We couldn't do it without you. And for this, we are eternally grateful. So to those who have served before and those who continue to serve and those who pave the way for others, the women in all strata of life, at the field, at the office, at the schools, the nurses, we say take a bow, have a great day, and continue to do what you do best. God bless you and God bless everyone. Thank you, Mr. Pierre. Have a great day.
Yes, thank you, sister. And I always say you bring on the South. Also, the family of the Salims. The Salim family also, that's their sister. And a quiet giant in the community that stood behind our family solidly and quietly. She's from the village of Blaise. So the Salim are from Blaise, Hermitage area. And it's a relatively big family. So we have to say my sympathies go to the Sital and the Bains and the Salim, etc. Yeah. Death always is part of our story, it's part of our history, but you always jolt us. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good day.
Yes, my brother.
To salute all the women of the world that they will have a good day today. Yeah. Mr. Pierre, you say concerning the guy about the work. Mr. Pierre, remember you said the promises. You must remember that really take people into it. But everybody had some permanent contract and somebody can't tell you what. As soon as we take office, there is no need for no problem. Everybody will get permanent status. Okay, be honest with you. So I guess 90% refer for that.
Of course,
you have contract and everybody go.
Yeah.
Did that for that. So I feel these people they've been con, but the way they present that's looking so good. Like I say, looking so clear and nice in the eyes. Don't know that was a trick. And the problem I have right now is I understand that the people Carrico, the house in someone was key or whatever, and no, they want to repost that thing. But so every week, so that government to make all this blunder every week, so maybe the invocation of my just spirit more start hunting them because every week, why you want to take back that far? You promise to build 500 houses in each parish each year. So you calculate that too. You have to the Carrick was a parish too. That might not.
There are about 2,000 houses for Carrico because let's say you give them 2 years.
I don't understand what Billy House and these people who are planning to give.
Give you 2,000 supporters.
Already. Yeah. I disappointed that I don't know if that is so true, but the other hand, I don't think they would. So all this thing going on, and I mean the chief just did, and he's telling you know nothing, and just did. No man, and it's something about that. But I don't know if that is true. But they say it's trying to cancel all whatever they present for the houses. And,
they said the letter that was given is null and void. The NDC declared it as null and void.
So the NP was in office. That is not a government. There was some kind of revolution.
The Minister of Housing and Social Development was the one who gave it, and the Minister of Housing and Social Development now is the one who take it out. It's almost a paradox, you know.
When I hear that, he go say he don't know about that too, you know, because when he been bombarded, he go say he don't know about that. Like everybody doing their own things. So take him up here and have a good day.
Yes, scholar. You know, sometimes we're surprised. You just have to go back to the National Democratic Congress history. These people have a history of political mischief. You remember in 2008, they took away lands from people in Carrico that got the land. In 2008, the NDC took away land from people who got the land. Yes, scholar, welcome. Yes,
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon. Yeah. The Prime Minister was supposed to have a press conference today.
I think he canceled it or postponed it. Either cancel or postpone, yeah.
Yeah, they canceled it. Well, I'm wondering why.
Well, the government
but that issue of the housing, the gentleman should have listened to news, like for example on GBN and RealFM and not the RealFM, WeFM and so on. The Telesford plainly said that that's not the first time he did it, you know. After about a month and a half ago, they did a visit around the place. And that the day after, he made mention, because evening he did the visit. I saw him. He was in a meeting up in the area where, and he said he went looking at the houses, and he announced the day after that they are reconsidering the whole process. Yesterday, in the news, it came on again, and they confirmed again that they are doing it. Now, I understand that people have been given keys already, because Carrico, as far as I remember, was the first set of houses that was to be given out. The others weren't complete yet, but I remember Carrico was given. Now, the thing about it is that how much people beside those that had applied initially got opportunity? How much more? I mean, are there so much people? Actually, I don't even know how much rooms are there in Carrico. But I'm wondering what sense it makes. Like, so much people are wondering too. To take back from the houses, the people who got it already need it anyway. It was a case where when you look at it, they didn't need it. And maybe there are people who need it more. Because I don't know who would need it more than the other. Because if everybody need it in a situation like that. But it is a case where you have people who got keys and they don't actually need the house. I could understand you take it back from them.
Caller.
But most likely need it. Yeah.
You remember the National Democratic Congress wanted to give back the Chinese 1,000 homes for $40 million instead? You never
I was
hear
not in Green at the time.
All right, okay, let's go.
Yeah, I heard about it many 1,001 times by now.
Well, I mean,
always hearing about that.
Sometimes people do not get surprised at the NDC. The NDC did not negotiate the 2,000 houses, you know. But they go back to the Chinese and tell them they don't need 1,000 houses, take back 1,000 and give them 40 million.
Okay. And you know, that 500 houses in every parish, almost inconstituent all the time. In every parish, sound like the most absurd thing I've ever heard when it comes. I do build, so I know what it takes to get all that done. I can't see how 500 houses could fit into any parish where government would have the now, had they say 500 houses in the first 3 years or so throughout the country,
They say 500 houses a year in a constituency. That is about 14,000 houses a
in
year.
every parish. In every parish.
Yes, so they have about 3,500 a year. And Carrico going to get 2,000. So, well, take 2,000 houses and give who you want to.
Maybe they should give Carrico the priority and build the 500 houses in Carrico first. And speed it up so that the people will be able to get, if there are 500 people that need houses up there, give them. But I can't see how you could take it from those who have had it already when they need it, equal it to anybody else who need it. Need is need. So let the people who have it, it was given already. Government, the decisions are final. Ain't it? Except they challenge it. But the former government made a decision, and this one now is just coming and disrespected blatantly, and not so much disrespecting the government as such, it's disrespecting the people who had the keys already. That's a serious embarrassment. Also, the implication of such a thing them guys seems to have, honestly. I have a serious problem we are seeing nowadays. And I'll tell you frankly, a lot of these guys inside there, I know them fairly well. I could call them friends, and I like them. But somehow they're doing so much blatant dotishness that I can't hold my mouth but say that. It's just preposterous about your context. Take care, sir.
Yes, Colin. The government promised to build 500 houses per constituency per year. So let us suppose, I take them for the word. Let us suppose they have 4 years and they build 500 houses per year. That's like 2,000 houses. You could build the 2,000 houses and give it to who you want. But the National Democratic Congress have a history of political mischief. Look at the words that is associated with the NDC. Detoxification, restorative justice, sanitization. This is the words that the government using on people, Then the government remove money from the elderly, the physically challenged, and disadvantaged children. The government fire people from the schools, and they give the principals of schools the authority to employ the people because they believe most of the teachers are hardline NDC. The government fire people from Carrico because they claim, not Carrico alone, Carrico and Grenada, they did it first in Carrico. They claim that these people, during the election, openly identify with NNP, while they had teachers and public officers openly wearing jersey in the political campaign. The government set up a ministry for political mischief. The MIT is for political mischief. And then the government give it to Andy. They know they're going to go behind Andy back and practice all the mischief. But Andy is expendable. They could do it without Andy. He's an expendable force. The revolution would have called Andy a patriotic bourgeois. And the revolution say they could be expendable. Now this government is going to break up this country like a cricket. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
We want to know what's going on in the acting commissioner of police. Because what happened is, Sonegan, he was in NDC meeting in plain clothes. So we want to know what's going on, what side he taking, and if so, why they shouldn't victimize those people that they say so put in NNP in some meeting or the other. That is all, Mr. Pierre.
Well, the government said, we the good people. So they consider the people who support the National Democratic Congress as good people. You know, I say sometimes I look at the trade union, civil organization, the bar association as powerful organization in the country. Now, if these organizations want people to respect them, they have to behave as if they want that to happen. Because over the years, in Tongue Long, I saw in the early part of our history how these organizations join up to silence Eric Gary. Because Eric Gary was supporting the workers in this country, the low-rank workers. I notice now when an individual have a, not all, individual have a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, a doctorate, they believe they are the smartest things in sliced bread. And they start to play down with borrowed feathers. They believe they're in a new social class. And they prepare to abscond the community and take advantage on people. I want to remind them what is going on in Jamaica. For the last 2 years, there are some areas in Jamaica that you have to use state of emergency to function. If the government continue like that, the violence level in Grenada would get out of hand. Some of their same children going to be the spouse of children they're fratting on. We must never forget that what is going on in Grenada is a sort of mentality. 70% of the children that exit school cannot meet the minimum requirements. But government is taking away the money from disadvantaged children. Government is upset because the previous government invested in toilet facilities for the poor and marginalized. This, what you see there, you mustn't run after isolated cases. People see isolated cases. Put all of them together and you're going to see the pattern of this group of individuals that believe they are elitists. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
I know you can remember in Jamaica with Edward Siaga and Michael Manley. Remember when they shot Bob Marley, when Bob Marley had to get back on the stage to get these two people to talk. Remember the revolution. Remember what had taken place. The many times you start speaking out against what's going on in the revolution, they try to shut your mouth. They call you counter. Start to follow people day and night. Mr. Pierre, seeing the same thing happening again. They're trying to put a muzzle on people's mouth. It's time for people like Senator Chester Humphrey, Peter David, Joe Gilbert, Mr. Ali Gill, and others to take a lead to stop this thing. It's time. Mr. Pierre, this thing going to get dirty. We only talking. We have to do something. This thing going to get dirty because remember the Prime Minister was only about 3 years old. Around 3 to 4 years old when the revolution, he don't know nothing about the revolution. But there is others in the back seat. And that is the problem with NDC all the time. They don't want Nazim around because Nazim aggressive. They feel Nazim could overthrow. So you see they get rid of Nazim. They send Glenn Noel in Cuba. Far. So it's a new agenda. Jenny speaks and she will say what is going on and what not going on. Jenny became an enemy. Please, Mr. Pierre, the time has come that Grenadians have to wake up. Otherwise, we go fall in that deep hole and blood going to spill. Thank you, sir.
I think what people need to do is to study a little, we were for one, we had all kind of information, but people let blatant, unrealistic, unpractical lies fool them. The government said we will build 500 houses per parish per annum. Simple mathematics will tell you that, let us suppose they say per annum, let's say give them 4 years. So a parish going to have 2,000 houses. And if you have 15 parish and they have 2,000 houses, it's not hard to estimate that. And you know that is not practical. But the government said it. The government said they're going to make all workers contract. The Prime Minister said, make everybody permanent. How are you going to do that? So people had information. The government snubbed the financial institution or organization in Barbados and lost 70 million. So the government doing as if them is socialists. They don't want Western money. But at the same time, they're getting rid of marketing board. They're sabotaging the source-up industry. The government fired the people that involve in pest management in the source-up industry. This is an act of sabotage. The government fired 30 people on Grand Baz estate. They have about 4 workers there. 4 workers could run the estate. There are crops to harvest. I understand somebody decide to harvest something. They bring in some people to get it harvest. The government remove, yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. All right, we lost that caller. Caller, you there? Okay, you better just try again. We had you and we miss you, so just give us a call again. So some of the actions that the government are taking doesn't seem to make any practical sense. The government went to Cuba and hung up Daniel Ortega and giving them the impression they are socialists. And when they're done, they get rid of the 15 Haitian. After they go in the United Nations and give the impression that they like Haiti so much, they get rid of 15 Haitians that come to Grenada. Even the government foreign policy doesn't seem to make sense. It is counterproductive towards the country. The whole world knows it's not a black cat or a white cat. It's a cat that's holding rat. So the government policies have to be taking the interests of Grenada. And then you establish an office in Russia to get CIB passport owners to go to the United States, while the United States and Russia is at loggerhead in a war. So we know where we are going. The route is in front of the International Monetary Fund on our knees. And no Grenadian cannot say, I did not know. We were on 4-1. We knew. I hear people asking for Peter David and Prime Minister and the Minister to speak. We knew what was going on.
Yes, again. Somehow, the understanding you have of that housing thing, I don't think that's how we actually. I would like to hear the clip again, eh? But you are saying 500 houses per annum in every parish. My remembrance, and I think I heard that about 3 times since after the 90th year, that it will be 500 houses per parish. As to whether they will do it year by year, parish by parish, I said there will be 500 in let's say St. David's and St. Andrews at the same time. I don't know. The plan, he never outlined a plan, but my understanding is 500 houses per a parish, not per annum in a parish. And on the other hand, on the other aspect, what is the other one you said? We talk about what he said again, right? The prominency of the workers. My understanding, I hear him repeat it about 2 days ago. I heard that again. I heard him talk about it again. That is a case of whether it's a prominent position, you don't have people like that on contract. But look at the case. The lady in the labor department, the commissioner of labor, that's a prominent position. But they had her on a contract for 2 years, and then they go and fire her in the midst of the whole thing and give her 1 month pay. So she worked for 4 months so far, she will get 5 months pay. You know, I yet to understand what kind of contradiction is that. So that inconsistency always showing up. Now here, with the whole attitude and idea, the idea of the attitude of the Prime Minister, where in the process of him talking, you need to listen to that man carefully. He's never straight with how he puts things. He's very subtle at putting that. So that we hear him, he can twist things in the end as he wants. Careful with that. Because he never actually say it clear enough. So that you could put an interpretation to it. He could come and argue that, hello, that interpretation is not right. And he's a liar. Remember how scampish these kind of people could be. sorry.
Well, that is the right word. The Prime Minister is a fake. If you are speaking and you are an intelligent man, the Prime Minister is a master of words, you know. That is where lawyers strong, you know. Words.
Master of words.
That is lawyers' strength. That is lawyers' strength, words. So he gave the impression to the people that he's going to make all of them permanent. Now he's trying to rephrase it. That was the impression that was given on the ground. People was campaigning.
When you listen to his budget presentation, for example, when he was about to talk about how much the projection and prediction of the growth, economic growth for the year, he juxtaposed it with the projection that the former government had for the year, which was 6%. And the impression he would give anybody who is not good at listening is that there will be a 9% increase in the growth, economic growth this year, coming from his budget. So that he used the 6% projection from last term budget to put in his 3%. But people need to understand that his projection is for 3% in the growth in the economy. Now, when an economy dropped by 3%, Mr. Pierre, you're talking about a lot of GDP, you know. You're talking about a lot of money, you know. You're talking about a serious downturn in the economy. There's no sustenance and maintenance of a lot of projects and projections or issues that they expect to deal with based on policies and programming. That a lot of that is out of the window. So, and here's something again. The United States had a meeting with 5 of the governments in the Caribbean that has this CBI program. And they had an agreement that by this month, the end of this month, they would make sure that they don't accept any application from Belarus and Russia. Now, between that time, the government go and approve, if you listen to Sheldon, the government approved a CBI program from a Russian between this time. And what that tells you, so that if due diligence has not been done, and that person becomes a pariah to the Americans, you see what confusion we could end up in again? Because maybe after the Americans come to find out that was approved, that person's application was approved. And when they do the investigation, you know the CIA is much better than us. The FBI is much better than us in doing investigation. And they know all the guys and them that are scams coming from Putin regime. Because as they call them oligarchs in the situation, they are associated with Putin. And if they are not complicit with Putin, they cannot function. So when you're talking about a rich person coming from Russia, it's automatically understood that they belong to Putin clique. And if you have that situation, we could have ourselves been sanctioned by America and so on. Because we can agree that these people's application should be vetted to the highest yield. But since it's coming from the 31st of this month, none of them would be accepted. And now we have one being accepted. It tells something serious. And people need to understand these things. And then, on top of that, this issue that I hear Sheldon is highlighting right now concerning the security issue, where the bill
the data that is on
proposed
Tuesday, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the data
supposed to shut people down. Yeah. Well, let me tell them. He went and invoked Maurice Bishop's spirit. What he don't understand is that the level of resentment that so much people have against Maurice Bishop in this country. I like Maurice Bishop, but Maurice Bishop brings up evil things in this country that, he better understand what that means. Like the person just pointed out, the guy was just about 3 or 4 years when Maurice Bishop got killed. He missing the point completely. The kind of suffering that people suffer under Bishop, there are good programs that was there, but this kind of program there wouldn't come back. And there aren't people to implement. You don't understand what this whole thing is about. It's confusion he come to make. They invoke Maurice Bishop's spirit. They better try and find a way of putting it back where it comes from. That's a warning. That's a good idea they get it. Take care.
Yes, scholar, that's one of the challenges that we have. As we say, today is International Women's Day, and women is the female part of Homo sapien, and we can't do without them. We need women, can't do without women, and women play an important part in society. They are our mothers, and they are our sisters, and our wives, and girlfriends. And some of the women in your own community, sometimes when we talk about women, we look for women who have done big things in the international sphere. But we forget the women in our community. Cousin LV in Paraclete, a stalwart, religious woman, almost a local doctor, a local spiritual woman. In the ancient days, according to the sickness people had, they used to go to her. She used to write on it with Indian ink, claim that they got well. And she used to give them medicine too. A strong woman in the laity. We have another sister, Mamian. She celebrated 100 years last Friday. And we had a little session for Sunday. I saw this sister from the National Democratic Congress. I don't know if she come from the Ministry of Social Affairs. She was with her. If she had spoken to her well, or if she had asked her if she was on the seed program, that's one of the 5 women I spoke about that was removed from the seed program in 1990. 2 others, is only 2 alive now out of the 5. One had 14 children. She was blind. Another one got blind before she died. Only 2 of them that is alive now. She's 100 years. The National Democratic Congress removed them from the seed program. I don't know if she ever went back. Because she said, leave hard. It's so sad. And I saw the NDC individual. I don't know if she is employed with the Ministry of Social Affairs or if she was representing the NDC party. But that was one of the women I speak about that was removed from the seed program in 2008, I think. It's 2008 when the NDC came in. They removed them from the program. A number of them, but I only call 5. And I don't call them men. The National Democratic Congress have a history of open hostility against the marginalized elderly, the physically challenged and disadvantaged young people. They took land away from the very people in Carriacou 2008, I believe. And now the people receive the letter for their house. And I think the keys. And once more, the NDC decide to rob it from them. That is what I call robbery violence. The psychological impact on these people could be devastating. And sometimes I wonder, where are the moderates in the National Democratic Congress? The Minister of Social Affairs and Housing, how do you have the guts to do something like that? You well agreed that the houses, 500 houses will be built annually. So why take out the houses? Now, if you say the letters was null and void, what arguments you have? So what happened to the people who have the houses in Maki? Was the letters null and void too? This is the National Democratic Congress. The Congress sat down and planned to do mischief. For 10 years or 2 terms, you was in opposition, the government in waiting. And during that 2 terms, you sat down and planned to do mischief. So you come in government now, you lie to the people with impunity, you trick them, and now you are disadvantaging them. And it seems as though the prince of hate and the motivational propagator of hatred continue to guide the National Democratic Congress down a slippery slope. I do hope that during this period of Lent and the fact that we have Women's International Day, Recognition Day, that the women in NDC, I hope and pray you're not as radicalized as the others, would sit down and think. Take the mirror, put in front of you. Ask yourself if these things are right. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre. Mr. Pierre, the reason why this NDC people doing that, they're doing making the one term. Because a show next year, please, we get an election. Thank you.
Yes, caller, thank you. You see, this is not the real issue, you know. You see, we have some serious impact in the wider society because of this vindictive attitude of the National Democratic Congress. I believe that the NDC has helped to encourage people to be very disrespectful to the elderly in the country. Over the years, the statement, the utterances, the expression of the National Democratic Congress attacking the elderly have contributed to the level of disrespect you see for elderly people in Grenada. And the NDC is this is the reason it was so easy for them to be unconscionable and remove $150 from the elderly. If you just listen to some of the comments of NDC individuals, the hierarchy of the National Democratic Congress, you will hear them talk about Itafood people in a very dismissive manner. Look at how the Prime Minister spoke about the people who was involved in schools to help to keep the children healthy. How dismissive he was. When he was quoting 6 million or 6.5 or 6.8 million, look at how he dramatized it. And all the individuals that was there, these guys don't even have master's degree, you know. Bright people are there, you know. Master's degree, they could do arithmetic good. Because if you have 300 workers, and we're just using 300, it's more than 300, and you're paying them $800, and for 24 months, that could be about $5.7 million. And if you have 12 workers, that you're paying $1,200 a month, for 24 months, that is another 270,000 plus. You have 6 point something million already. You see, so the Prime Minister could have checked it. But he believed somehow or the other that they are so intelligent, they believe everybody else stupid. The National Democratic Congress forget that Eric Matthew Gary built 28 schools in 13 and a half years. They forget it was Eric Gary, a man who never, that fight brimstone and fire to get St. George's University in Grenada. A man who never been to secondary school was interested in education the most in Grenada. You don't have to go to school to be well known. And I think this is a mistake a lot of members from the National Democratic Congress making. They believe because they have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, that make them the smartest people in the country. Sometimes BA could be big ass and MA could be more ass. Not because you have a master's degree mean you're smart. I said in another program, a friend I have, you have a master's degree, beat your wife. So you can't beat your wife, you're too bright. You have a master's degree in economics and a master's degree in management and psychology. Can't beat your wife. You could leave wife beating for me, I don't have much sense. But if you're so bright, you can't beat your wife. And this is a challenge the National Democratic Congress have. This is why they introduced a ministry for mischief. From day one, I asked that ministry should be disbanded. The trade union should be the first organization in Grenada calling for the ministry of the MIT should be disbanded. The Prime Minister said in an interview in Tobago, we campaign on a policy of transformation, but it's not so much transformation, it is restorative justice. Look at the words that are associated with them. Detoxification, sanitization. Go on social media. Read some of the NDC politicos and social warriors writing on social media. It is bitter as the rhyme that comes from the aloes tree. My greatest fear is that political victimization does not become the culture in the schools. That is my greatest worry. And I hope that people whose children are in school, particularly you who not likely to have your child succeed, pay special attention to political victimization in the school. Because it could well be that your child become a target. You see, the government has institutionalized political victimization. That is why the senior cop could have been in the NDC convention without uniform. They did not go there because of security. They go there because they are members. Maybe not members on paper, but de facto members. Because the government want to institutionalize victimization. That is the reason they put the hiring of the auxiliary staff in the hands of the principals of school. That is why tomorrow, next week Tuesday, when they go to Parliament, they want to pass the data protection laws. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
One of the worst things running for election and for people who do campaigning and telling people lies. It's one of the worst things I ever would think for people to think in Grenada here. Now, when you're running for election, you're telling people lies, making them promises that you know you cannot fulfill and impossible to do. Pick the truth. The truth will set you free. Not fool everybody at every time, and a government cannot employ everybody, especially in a small island like we. Tell the people the truth. Man, bring back the bushing program, bring back the thing how it was. Let the other party come in. We are tired of this thing, man. I'm tired of it, Mr. Pierre.
Well, we have some more way to go. You see, it's a mentality that needs to change. People believe you could wake up and maybe protest or demonstrate and get this thing changed. No, it's a mentality. And you're supposed to be concerned about what takes place in the schoolhouse. If the government institutionalize political victimization, it means they would do the same thing with their scholarships. If they're taking away money from the ethically challenged, disadvantaged children, houses for people who got their keys and their letters already, waiting on the electricity to go in, then imagine what is going to happen in the schools. You see, that is why the government give the teachers the money they didn't work for. The government believes that the majority of teachers support the NDC. And the demographics and historically, that is a fact. So they decide they could put that responsibility in their hand. So there are some people who wouldn't get a teacher in Grenada. While this government exists, yes, sir, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
yes, sir, welcome.
I'm disappointed in you. That is the kind of hate you're teaching against in this country. That is the kind of money trying to put people against people.
Caller. Caller. What is it that I'm saying that is not the truth?
You saying that.
Tell me one thing that I've said. Caller, cool down.
Oh, you know that?
Caller, because I'm in tongue long. I saw what going in the river. Caller.
I'm tongue 80 years now.
Caller.
80 years now.
Caller, did you work were you there in revolution period?
Yes.
Were you aware that 3,000 Grenadians was in jail?
Yes, they was in jail.
Caller, did you know that some of the people that went to study? Caller.
This just a woman to call and talking about lies and this and that.
Yes, this government lied blatantly to the people. We're speaking about the Dick Mitchell and the NDC. Caller, what do you think about what do you think about what Dick Mitchell said? Tell me what Dick Mitchell said if you agree with it. Do you agree with the removal of the 150 from the older people? Do you agree with it?
9 years.
Caller, did you agree with it? Did you agree with the removal?
Them people, people give nothing.
What about the houses in Carriacou? You agree to take it back from them?
And they're still going.
Caller, you agree to take back the houses from them in Carriacou?
Do I take back the house?
You agree to take it back?
Well, let me tell you something.
Do you agree to take it?
People go get the house. Grenadian will go get the house. So I don't know what nonsense you're talking.
Yes, that is the challenge we have, and we need to continue conversation. Because there are some bitterness outside there. Some people say, let the people go and pound stone. They're very glad that the government remove money from people. They say, let it go and pound stone. Sometimes when you hear the attitude of some of the members of the National Democratic Congress, and I always challenge them, I always challenge them. What am I saying? Is it the truth? Take, for instance, the Minister of Social Affairs and Housing. How do she explain? What does she mean when she say the letters are null and void? Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, you have only 1 hour to teach the Grenadian people facts, truth. And the truth does hurt. And you're taking almost 20 minutes with that fool.
No, you see,
God say
you see,
like
caller, the fact that he is calling means that he is having some trouble with the truth.
Well, you have problems, so that way you should never hear on your program because you're always calling you and talking stupid.
Yeah, we still have to engage him.
You engage him with what, Mr. Pierre?
Yes, he have to deal with the truth. You see, the truth of...
You're watching him and you're taking up all the time with the white people might want to talk and say something different, and you have that full man on the phone and calling you and wasting your time, Mr. Pierre. Enough is enough, man.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Yes, as we come to the end of the program, we must remember the women in your communities. Look at some of the stalwart women in your community. They might have been very poor people. We have a sister that have over 20 children. All of them alive, over 20 children. She's strong and dynamic and humble in a community. Some people had large families, 10, 12 children. They still was good mothers to the children that maybe their husband children and the neighbor children too. So sometimes when these period come, we call all the glowing names of the international individuals and powerful Grenadians, and we forget the local people just around us. So think about, have a word of prayer for the local women in your own community, your mothers, your brothers, your sisters, and the children in school. And thank you very much for being with us today.